This might be one of the most highly anticipated modules of the course, and that is the SQL joins. Whenever someone asks you, hey, do you know SQL? What do you know about coding for data analysis? People typically expect that you know joins. They're the second most important thing right next to CTEs and subqueries. This module is broken up into two parts. The first part that you're in right now, joins, will take about 8 minutes, and we're just going to introduce high level, what is a join? What does it look like with the toy data set? In part 2, we're going to go over an example in the BigQuery console, and we're going to go over the syntax on how you write a join in Google BigQuery. That will take about 26 minutes, so it's a little bit over our 30-minute goal, but sometimes they're just a little bit more action-packed. Let's not waste any more time, get right into it. What are joins and why do we need them? Many times with the data set that we have, our individual table that we're working with won't have all the information that we need in order to perform the analysis that we're looking for. Understanding joins in particular is fundamental to SQL, and it is a huge interview topic. So typically when you say that you are an intermediate level of SQL, that is the understanding that you have subqueries and joins. Those are the two big ones. And when I say subqueries, I also mean CTEs. So we already worked on our subqueries and CTEs. Joins is going to be the next thing and is super important for your SQL coding set. Forming a join is actually pretty easy to do. It's just a couple of commands and whammo blammo, you're ready to go. What's difficult about joins is that it will run in the SQL program and it will give you an output, but what you type in versus what you actually want, sometimes there's a mismatch. And by sometimes, I mean a lot of times. So easy to do, hard to master. But I have a couple tips and tricks, which if you follow that every time, it'll keep you on the straight and narrow and make sure that the joins not only run, but work as intended. Joins is part of our broader umbrella of data shapes. So in the previous module, we worked on unions, which make our data long. And as we know, this works by stacking two tables on top of each other. 1, 2. In comparison, joins make our data wide. So what that does is that you have table 1, table 2, and you connect them. So what you do is you take your individual tables and then you join them together, making them wide. Let's look at a visual of joins because I'm a very visual person. Suppose we have our table 1, and this is the pink circle, and we want to add our table 2, which is the purple circle. What we would want is table 3, and that is this portion in between. Whatever table 1 shares with table 2 is table 3. And if you were to Google how to do a SQL join, a lot of times you get these types of Venn diagrams or circles. So that's why I'm showing it to you here, so that if you go and try to help yourself later on the internet and you see this, this is what they're talking about. So table 3 is the combination of table 1 and table 2. Okay, when I first saw these, I was like, I kind of get it, but it's not great. So let's look at another example with a little more detail. Suppose we have our table here, and it has the date of an appointment with the pet name and the appointment type. But we don't want to just know what happened to the given pet on a day. We want to know what the cost was associated with it. So this is our one table, and we have another table over here, and this has the appointment type with the costs. So basically what we want to do for our join is we just want to attach these tables based on the appointment type. So annual checkup for 75 would go here. It would go on row 1, row 2. Teeth cleaning, I don't see any teeth cleanings. X-ray would go to row 4. Lump surgery to row 6. And a cuteness charge would go to row 3. So what we would want to do is we have table 1, table 2, and then we would just, wherever they're matched up, we want to attach the cost to it. So what we do is we're breaking our table up into primary and secondary tables. In general, you want your primary table to be your bigger one. So if I look at these two, which one looks like a bigger table? Table over here, the table on the left. So if this one's my primary, this one's my secondary. And this might, you might, what? Don't worry about it. We're going to do so many examples. You're going to have this down by the time we're done with this module. Let's combine that first slide with the Venn diagrams with the example of our actual table so that we can see what this looks like. So here I have my first table, and this has our dates, our pets, and our appointment type. Then we also have appointment type with costs. So we want to combine these so that we can see for our different appointment types that we completed services for, how much money did we incur. And this is what it would look like. So we have table 1 plus table 2, and then we see we get table 3. So only where there is a match, do we get a returned data point. So something that I want to note is that in this one, I added ear cleaning here. I added ear cleaning to table 2. But I see in table 1, there is no ear cleaning. So when I look at my final table 3, ear cleaning here, we didn't do a service for it, so we don't get a cost for it. And so then that just includes whatever is in table 1 and table 2. And this is what we call an inner join, and we'll go into different types of joins. And like I said, the easiest way to get joins under your belt is to just do repetition, repetition, repetition. So don't worry about making sure that you have everything right now. As we go through the examples, it should be a little more clear. So what we've done is we've attached the column cost to our primary table. So with unions, we stack 1, 2. With joins, we attach table 1, table 2. So now the question is, how do we know how to attach these tables? Well, we want to look at these two. We have table 1, table 2. What column do they share? How do I connect these tables? What are they related to? Appointment type. Okay, so we see that looking at appointment type, that is the column that makes these two tables that I can draw a connection from. If this one said appointment type, other one was vet who performed operation, then I couldn't connect to these tables because I don't have the vet who performed the operation in this table, and I don't have anything else that would relate to this table. So this highlighted portion, I'm just trying to drive home the point of these are the columns that connect these two tables. Let's summarize what we talked about today. So we learned that joins in SQL make our data wide in comparison to unions that make our data long. When we're doing our SQL joins, one of the things that we need to do first is identify what is our primary table, what is our secondary table, and what column or multiple columns these two tables share. In our next lesson, we'll go over the syntax or how you would write a join in Google BigQuery, and we'll also do an example. See you there.